I'm Kara, so I'm going to teach you how to, for this topic, how to build a dashboard using the Find BI. And today, actually, our topic is about the gross profit. So let me share my screen first, okay? Okay, so today our topic is about the gross profit analysis. To build a dashboard like this, actually, this is a final dashboard that we are going to create using Find BI within about an hour or less. That's the work we will achieve, and we will see how easy and quick the Find BI can do this kind of work for me. So if you'd like to follow me along while I'm operating, you can also visit our demo site. I'm sure before this webinar, you have received an email giving you the demo link. You can go to this demo link and go to the My Analysis part. Later, I will finish this dashboard step by step, and you can follow me along. And for this dashboard, we need the data, right? So let me send you the data first. If you need, you can just follow me to do this dashboard. Uh, but because Excel is very convenient, today we're going to use this Excel data for analysis. So now let's begin the gross profit analysis. Firstly, I will go to here. I'm going to use my local. This is my local one, my personal Find BI version I have installed in my computer, but you can continue to use the demo site if you want. So here, similarly, I'm going to go to the My Analysis part here in the left menu. This is where you can do the analysis in Find BI. All the work will be done here, including importing data, do some data transforming, create your own indicators, and finally do the data visualization part. All that work will be done here. So here, I want to create a new folder. So later, it's like categorize all my work here because here I've already have some folders here, right? So I'm going to create a new folder, name it as the date of today, and then I will create here. I'm going to create a subject under this folder. So here I'm going to the analysis subject. This is the editing page of this subject. Like I said, all the work will be done here. So the first step is that I should select my data. So because today I'm going to use an Excel data, I can just upload my Excel data like this. Just upload it to select your data, and then click OK. So this is how we import the data into this subject. Also, if you want, I can also rename the subject analysis gross profit, right? This is the analysis we'll do today. So we can observe the data first before we directly dive into the analysis. You can see here, I'm going to see every record of this data, and you can also switch to the structure or the field we have. So if you observe the data, you will find this is some data specifically for the manufacturing industry. But I think that's okay if you're not familiar with the manufacturing industry because today our topic is about the gross profit. That is the core of today's topic. And gross profit, we might do that, right, in every industry, not only in the manufacturing industry. So here, what we have is the date, the product ID category, and some cost. You see, there are many cost items like packaging, like glass cloth, etc. That's the cost item. And the cost is divided into planned cost and actual cost. So this is planned actual, this is also planned actual, right? And besides these cost items, we also have sales volume. This is the quantity, sales revenue, and sales cost. And let me remind you here about the data a little bit. Here, you see there are many cost items, right? But this is also another item called sales cost. So here, our definition is that If you add all the actual costs together, that is the actual cost when production. And the sales cost might be just a part of the actual cost. So the value might not be the same, okay? So here, let's go back into the data part. So this is just a single Excel sheet we'll use today. And what we will achieve is the dashboard like this today. So before we make this dashboard, we should find out whether our data whether our data is suitable for analysis right now, whether we have all the indicators already, or we need to do some data transforming or indicators. So let me step by step explain it step by step. So this is the first part. This is the first part we will do for analysis to just to show the overview of the gross profit. Like here, the KPI card, the sales revenue, gross profit, and here is also sales revenue displaying as this gauge, and some trend analysis. And if we observe the chart, the indicator we need here are sales revenue, gross profit, gross margin. These are the three indicators that we need. So later we are going to calculate the gross profit. Sales revenue, we already have it in the data. So gross profit will use sales revenue minus the sales cost to get the gross profit. And also gross margin. I will use gross profit divided by the sales revenue to get the gross margin. So this is the calculation, the data transforming, or the calculation we'll do later to achieve this part. This is the first part. And also for the second part, I will do the Pareto analysis. And this part, the reason why I do this analysis is because I want to find out the top customers that contribute to most of my revenue, specifically the 80% of the revenue. So I can focus on the top consumers, right? So here, I'm going to also to create some indicators here, the revenue accumulative percentage for each customer. So here is also another indicator I will create. This is the second part. And the third part is the cost trend. I also want to see the contrast between the actual cost and the planned cost, whether the planned cost already covered the actual cost or not, or if the actual cost exceeded the planned cost. So here I'm going to use this aerial chart to display. So as you know, in our data, actual cost and planned cost, they are several minor items, right? So also we need to do the data transforming to add all the planned costs together to get the total, and to add all the actual cost together to get the total actual cost. So that's the first three parts we will achieve firstly. And lastly, we'll also check some tariff related analysis. But for this part, I think maybe it's better for us to leave it for later. Okay. So for this part, we'll discuss it later. So now let's get started to achieve this three part overview, Pareto analysis, and cost trend. And in the meanwhile, I will also explain more details about the chart meaning. What can I use the chart for? So I go back into this subject. I just import the data. And now I want to get the gross profit because in my data, I have the sales revenue. Here you can check. I have the sales revenue and I have the sales cost. And I'm going to just use these two values to minus each other to get the gross profit. So here, formula column, I can just do it like this. This is the gross profit. And here are all the values I need. I'm going to use the sales revenue minus the sales cost to get the gross profit. Okay. And next, I want to get the total actual cost and the total planned cost. So same again, formula column. This is the total actual cost. Total actual cost, I just need to add all the actual costs together. So you need just click one, add another one, add. Where did I add? energy consumption, right? And the next one is the glass cloth. And the next one is the labor and the other expenses, and then packaging, and then the waste. And another item we need to pay attention to is here. We also have here other cost. This is the cost that the planned cost doesn't expect, but it actually happens. So we need to add it also in our total actual cost. Okay. So now I have got a value, total actual cost, gross profit for each record. The same one for the total planned cost. So this part is like you are pre-processing the data before you do the data transformation. Just add the planned one together, planned, planned, and planned consumption, and then glass cloth, and then the labor, other expenses, and packaging, and here, waste, the last one, right? Oh, sorry. I think if you look here, you will see that if you have syntax error in your formula, there will be a hint. Let's give it a check. Oh, here, I add another plus. So here, this is the total planned cost. So now our data, this is like the data pre-processing. Now I'm going to make the tables and charts. Then I will go to the component area here. So in FindBI, in this subject, this is all the subject. In this subject, if you want to create the table, the chart, you need to go to the component area. Of course, you can create here multiple components by clicking this green icon. So the component is where you create tables and chart, and one component can only create one table or one chart. So let's do the first part to get the overview. Here, I want to create a KPI card displaying the sales revenue, right? So here, you can just select the chart type here. I'm going to select the KPI card here, and I'm going to find the relevant field in the left section, sales revenue, just drag it in our drawing area here. And then we'll automatically get a format like this. See, there will be an icon, this is the name, and this is the value. So if you are not satisfied with this style, you can also adjust. Here, I'm going to, under this chart tab, there will be graphic property, text. Click this setting for the text. I'm going to choose the layout of this one. So there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiple layouts that you can choose. Or if you're not satisfied, you can also customize here to customize. So here I'm just use the preset style, this one. So I will not have this icon. And also I want to change the format of the sales revenue because now the value is too large. I want to add a unit. So I'm going to find the field and here, hover your mouse over, and there will be a field setting button, and there will be value format. I'm going to give it a Boolean quantity. So here, Boolean quantity is here. So a KPI card now is completed. And because later I'm going to also create many other components, many other charts or tables. So it's better that now I rename it. So here I'm going to rename it. This is the sales revenue. Okay, so now we have completed this one, and the rest one is the same, like the gross profit. Okay, gross profit. I'm going to another component, rename it first if you want, gross profit. Then KPI card, find the gross profit here. Drag it here, and same, adjust the style and value format. That is completely the same, billion or billion, that is all okay, billion. And next, I want to display KPI card, display the gross margin, right? And as you know, gross margin should be calculated by gross profit divided by the sales revenue. But clearly now in my data fields, I don't have the gross margin yet, right? So let me calculate it first. So here, another way to calculate it is while we are creating our charts, we can also create our indicators in the middle of creating our chart. So here, where can I do it? Here in our data section, there will be 3 dots, and I'm going to add calculation field. This is the gross margin that I will create. This is the name of this indicator. And how to calculate it? Gross profit divided by the sales revenue. But here, gross margin should be the total. For example, we are going to calculate the product gross margin. So that should be the product gross profit divided by the product sales revenue. So here to, represent this meaning of the total, I cannot just, select a field like here, for example, gross profit like this. I'm not going to select it directly like this, but I'm going to use a function here, sum, summation, to get the total of a specified dimension, depending on what dimension you are going to drag into your chart or table. So here, sum AGG, gross profit, divided by sum AGG, the sales revenue. That means to get the total first of this gross profit, to get the total first of this sales revenue, and then divide it by the total to get the correct gross margin. Click OK, and then in our data section, you can see there will be gross margin, and if you observe that the icon is a little bit different from the original fields, because you see there will be an F, right? That represents this field is a calculation field. Okay, so now we have the data. I can go to another component. This is where I'm going to make the gross margin and just drag it. Now, I just drag it, but I don't change my chart type. So by default, our chart type will be the first one. This is the group table. But don't worry, I can just switch from the group table to the KPI card. That is also okay. And then similarly, change the style, give it a format. And here, I want it to show as a percentage. So I change to percentage with 0 decimal place. Okay, so I have my gross margin. And actually here, one left, we have this gauge. So this gauge actually, it can add some, beautification function to our dashboard. It will make our dashboard look more beautiful, right? So that's the core function of this gauge. Actually, is also displaying the sales revenue. So I'm going to use the gauge. This is the gauge. And sales revenue, just drag the sales revenue here. And then I want to change the chart type to a gauge here, to the gauge. And you see gauge, we have 1, 2, 3, 6, right? 6 styles of gauge. You can choose one. For example, this one, and I don't want to show this text or this label directly. So I'm going to just remove it. I'm not going to show the label. Okay, so now our first part has already been completed. And the next part of the overview is I also want to use some, this is the column line chart, right? To help me to understand what these key indicators will change following the time, especially here, the time is the year, month. Okay, so here, this is a combination chart because there are columns, there are lines. So in the Find BI, I'm going to create a new component. In the Find BI, the chart type, you can see there are tables, KPI card we have used, gauge we have used, some lines, some charts, some columns, or the map, or some special charts. But if you want to use some combination chart like the column line or column area or some other combinations of different chart types, you need to select this one, custom chart. So let me just use this group chart to show the data for me firstly and then switch it to the correct chart type. So now I'm going to display the date, right? Change by the date. And then is the sales cost, sales revenue, and sales cost. Okay, so sales revenue, sales cost, and then the gross margin. And then specifically here, I want to display the gross margin for the same month but last year. So that is what we often call the how to calculate the year-over-year rate or month-over-month rate or same period value or the previous period value. I'm sure that if you have used some some BI tools before, you must encounter these scenarios. You are curious of how to calculate the year-over-year rate, month-over-month rate in the FanBI. So actually in FanBI, it's very simple. We have like encapsulated a function for you. You just need to click a button to calculate it like that. So now I'm going to calculate the same period of the gross margin. That is, for example, here. For example, here, suppose it's the February 2025. So here I want to calculate the also February, but in 2024, what is the gross margin for that month? That is the same period gross margin. So again, I'm going to drag the gross margin here and then move your mouse over. Use this quick function here, comparison with same period. I want to get the same period value. So here, same period. You can see we can select year, quarter, month, or weeks. That is because now our date, the format is the year, month, date, right? But actually, I just want to check the year, month. So I'm going to also change the group of this date here, change it to year, month. And then if you check the quick calculation again, there will be only a year because in this scenario, you can only calculate the same period for the different year, but the same month. Okay, so here we can also verify if our data is correct or not by the screw table because it's giving us the data directly, right? So if you check, okay, this is January 20, this should be the value of January, but 2024. Let's check. It's correct, right? It's the same. Okay, so now we have all the data ready and I can change its chart type to combination chart or custom chart. And I want to change its format, its style a little bit because now the gross margin, I want to change it to a line. Also, this is the same period, right? Same period. For example, I'm going to give it this name, same period. Okay, so I'm going to find under graphic property, gross margin, change it to line. Also same profit, same period, change it to line. And now all the indicators here, 4 indicators are using the same left y-axis. Clearly, it's not applicable because the percentage is too low, right? So I'm going to change the gross margin and the same period to the right y-axis. So here, gross margin, set value axis, change it to the right. Also, for the same period, change it to the right. Okay. And also here, the columns. The 2 columns now are standing like this. They are separate, right? But now I want to have an effect of a stacked effect. So it's also very easy to stack in the FindBI. Just stack your corresponding field. I want the sales revenue to stack with the sales cost. So here, enable stacking, here also enable stacking, and they will stack to each other. Okay, so this is almost the prototype we're making here, and the rest of the work is, just some style adjusting to beautify this chart a little bit. For example, the format, the value format here, the unit, million, and here also the value format, percentage, no decimal place. Here, the same, no decimal place. So this is unit percentage, right? And here, we might also want to adjust our color here because you see in our final dashboard, actually in our dashboard, we have like a theme color, right? It's already in all the charts is the yellow, it's the dark blue and this blue, also yellow and dark blue and this blue. So you can see in every chart, the color series is very similar. Actually, we can leave the color settings for now separately for our chart. Later in our dashboard oversetting, we will adjust it together. So that will make sure that all our charts have the same color setting. So I will leave the color now, but instead I will adjust some others like the indicator. I don't want to display this indicator name. So I'm going to the component style, legend. I'm not going to display this title. And maybe here, this line. I want to change the line to a curve. So gross margin, this is gross margin. So find the gross margin under graphic property, connection to change it to curve. Also, I want to display this same period as a dotted line. So connection here, dash line, right? Or you can also give it a mark point. And I want to display the label for what is the gross margin, what is the same period gross margin. So label, right? And then I also want to I want to display the same period, right? So similarly, gross margin, drag it to the label to calculate the comparison with same period. And then this is the label it will show. Actually, now all the dots is displaying the label. I just want to show the maximum and minimum one. So maximum and minimum. And the same for the gross margin. If you want to show the label, just drag it here in the label setting box and just display the maximum and minimum. Okay. So that is briefly the adjustment that I do here for this trend analysis of key indicators analysis. Okay, so now we have finished the first one, the overview part, So the next step might vary. You can choose now to begin to start your dashboard, or you can also choose to continue to make your own charts and after that to build a dashboard. Either way is okay. But here, because I want to show you where is our dashboard more quickly, so I'm going to create the dashboard here. Now I'm going to use this purple icon at dashboard to create a dashboard, and in the left there are all the components that we have finished here. So just drag that. You can press the shift to multi-select and drag them together in your dashboard. So actually, usually the dashboard page, this page is the ultimate dashboard that we will share it to others. And you can see the dashboard here, it will have this size and this location, right? And you can also, drag it to adjust its size or its location freely. But for that part, because I want to adjust it later when all my charts are added to my dashboard, so we'll also leave it for later, okay? So next, I'm going to continue to my second part, the Pareto analysis. So in the Pareto analysis, I want to recognize which are the top customers that contribute to the 80% of my revenue. So my horizontal axis will be the customer and the vertical axis will be firstly the customer revenue for each customer, and another one is the revenue accumulated percentage. So I can use this analysis line, this dotting line to judge when the revenue accumulated percentage will achieve to 80%. So before that were all the customers that I should focus, the top customers. Okay, so to do that, like I said before, we also need to create some indicators because for now, as we check, I'm going to create a new component as we check. Okay, we have the customer name. Okay, I'm going to drag it here to just use this group table to view my data. Okay, I have the customer name and I have the sales revenue. Okay, so this is the sales revenue for each customer, like a grouping, like a pivot table, right? Sales revenue for each customer. But how can I calculate the cumulative sales revenue percentage? So, to calculate that, we need to calculate this cumulative sales revenue first, and then divide it by the total revenue of the customers, right? So I will get the percentage. So we can do it step by step. So like I said before, we have some quick calculation here, right? So let's check if I just drag the sales revenue here, okay, I do a quick calculation to get the cumulative value, and then another one, I also do the quick calculation to get all the values. So actually, this will be the cumulative value, and this will be the total value, right? But now here is the problem. I want to divide it, this value divided by this value. So how can I get this value? How can I get this value and then divide them? So clearly, just using this quick calculation here are not achieving this effect because it can just show the value for me, but I cannot retrieve the value for further calculation. So here I'm going to use a formula to do that, to do the substitute function, same as the cumulative, same as the all values. So again, I'm going to add calculation field. This is the cumulative revenue percentage. So firstly, I'm going to calculate the cumulative value. Here, you can also click this one to open all the function list and you will find there will be quick calculation function, and here I will use this one, ACC sum. So, because if you are new to FineBI, it's okay that you don't know you don't know why am I using this function? It's okay because you are new. But if you understand the FineBI, if you check the function list, this function will be easy to use. So I'm going to use this function, and the first parameter is the indicator that I will calculate. So here I'm concerned about the revenue. So also I'm going to use the sum AGG and sales revenue. So this is how I get the cumulative revenue divided by total revenue. Also here, I'm going to use this function. You can also type it and select this hint. Total also sum AGG, the sales revenue. Okay, so here I'm getting the percentage, again, an F icon here, right? So let's check. Let's drag it to the chart area to check if this one is correct. If you like, you can also verify the result by just manually divide this one by this one to manually verify if this is correct or not. So this is the step of how we calculate the cumulative revenue percentage. Now I don't need this field again, so I'm just dragging out of the box to remove it. Okay, so these three fields is the fields are that I will use for the Pareto analysis, and I will change the type to which one? To also the custom chart, right? Because column and line combination. So custom chart, and here the sales revenue is a column, the cumulative percentage is the line. And the same to remove it, to move it to the right axis. And then you might see that now the column isn't sorting, right? So it might be not that easy for us to observe a conclusion. So I want to sort the customer by the sales revenue so that the column will be from the highest to the lowest. The highest actually is the customer that contributes to our revenue the most, right? So customer descends by the sales revenue. Okay, so now we have got this chart, and now, because the customer are too many, right? I cannot just find it one by one. Okay, where is the 80%? I cannot just do that. So here we are going to use the analysis line to help us to judge. I'm going to add an analysis line. Here is the coordinate. To name it as 80%. Add it when the cumulative percentage equal to 0.8. So here will be a line. So with this line, we can scroll to find, the cross point like this one. Okay, when the customer from the top to this one, this already contributed to the 80% of the cumulative revenue, right? So perhaps these customers are the top customers that we should focus later. Okay. And so we have finished this chart, and the rest one also is the style adjustment. So for example, the unit, I'm sure you know how to adjust it now, like the percentage, like the indicator. I don't want to show this indicator name in the legend. And like the customer name. The customer name is, if you don't want to show it, this is the axis label, right? Access label for customer name. So customer name, access, and then to hide it. Okay, so now we have got this chart. Okay, this is the Pareto analysis. Okay. And the next one, the next part, I want to, explore the cost trend. We have this are all the overview, and then we have the customer analysis, the Pareto analysis, and then I want to explore the cost. So the cost, I want to contrast the actual and the planned cost by the date. So date, find the total actual cost, total planned cost, and then also switch it to another chart type. So the group table, you can usually use it to observe your data to verify if it's correct or not. But lastly, you need to change it to another chart type, right? So I'm also use this custom chart now, and now I'm going to use another chart type, the area here. Change it to area. Okay, so now I have this area chart, but it's year, month, date, right? I'm going to change it to year, month. I just want to observe the year, month to see if the actual cost uh, is covered by the planned cost or not. Okay, this is the cost trend. Cost trend. And other settings like the legend, like the title, like the unit, that is also the same. Like the legend. Okay. Okay, so that are the three parts I have introduced in the beginning, and now we have finished it. And lastly, I also want to analyze some tariff-related analysis because, recently tariff will always be a hot topic. So we also want to use the FindBI to explore when the tariff rate is high, what it will cost for us. Suppose now we're going to selling these products to other countries. Will it affect very improvely to the cost that we will make in other countries or not? So, actually this is the total workflow of how to, calculate the duty amount and then to see how the duty amount will affect the pricing, the selling price that in other countries. But because in our scenario, we want to simplify it. We don't want to be, that professional, but to let you know that our FindBI can do this kind of analysis. So you can refer to this, to this workflow. Usually to calculate the price, we will firstly calculate the landed cost. The landed cost, we will use the duty and add the CIF. The CIF here is the cost, insurance, and freight. So here, what we will do in our FindBI to calculate these indicators, actually the workflow is like this. First to second, thirdly, and fourthly, like that. So firstly, I will calculate the free onboard, this value, free onboard value. So if you check the free onboard value now, I'm going to substitute it by the actual cost we have and the gross profit that we expect. So this is FOB, and then we will calculate the landed cost. So the landed cost will be the free on board, this value, and add the duty. The duty is free on board equal the rate. So let's firstly do these two steps in the FindBI. So firstly, the FOB, free on board. Free on board, I want to use the gross profit plus the actual cost. So similarly, I'm going to use the sum AGG, the gross profit. Where is the gross profit? You can also search it here. Gross profit and add what? Add the total actual cost, right? Total actual cost. Okay, this is my FOB here. And next, I'm going to calculate my landed cost. My landed cost should be the FOB plus the duty. Duty is the FOB multiple the rate. The rate is the tariff rate. So what is the tariff rate? Suppose we have a fixed value. Suppose we have a fixed value here. Maybe this one, 1%, maybe 1%. So we can write it like this. But Usually, I in this dashboard, I want to let the user have the flexibility to, enter the rate by the user itself and then to calculate the landed cost automatically by the system. So here, I'm not going to just write it like this. I'm going to use a parameter to substitute this dynamic parameter, this dynamic value. So here, add three dots, add parameter. This is the rate, right? And type is the value. I can also give it a default value like 1% maybe. Okay. And then you can see there will be this parameter, and then I can modify this landed cost. And then this is the rate. So I'm going to choose the rate. Okay. So now I have calculated my landed cost here. And now, what I really want to achieve actually is a contrast between the price before and after the tariff. So I'm going to, to calculate the price before. Here, this is the price before. Price before, use the sales revenue. This is the price before. Sum AGG, the sales revenue divided by the sales volume. Okay, price before. But the difficult part is the price after the tariff. So after the tariff, I'm going to calculate my target revenue first. Target revenue and divided the sales volume to get the price after tariff. So here, landed cost divided 1 plus gross margin to get the target revenue. So I'm going to do it quickly, okay? Target revenue, and this is the landed cost, right? Landed cost. Actually, this is some indicator definition. So if you're not professional about this, it's okay that you don't understand the indicator now, but all you can know is that we can just write it like this in the Find BI. Okay, this is the target revenue and the price after tariff. So sum AGG also, right? Sum AGG, the target revenue. But actually in the oh, sorry, I have typed it wrong. Let me correct it. Target price after tariff. So here I'm going to use the target revenue. You might think that, what if I continue to use the sum AGG here? But in the target revenue itself, we have already used the sum AGG, so you can just use it like this. Sales revenue, right? Sales volume, right? Sales volume. Okay, so this is the price after, and now I want to calculate the price change. Price change right? Price change. So that should be after price minus the original price and divided by the original price. So this is how to calculate it. Okay. So now my data is ready and I can just, also to visualize this data. So this is the ultimate effect here. In the horizontal axis, there will be price change and price after tariff. In my vertical axis, there will be the category, product category. So product category, I'm going to use the group table to display it again. Price after tariff, and price change. Okay, and then you can switch that to like here. Here is actually the contrast bar chart. Here, I'm going to choose this one. Can I choose this one? No. Why? Because, here again, column line chart, right? So also combination chart. So now, in my horizontal, now by default, in the horizontal is the product category, but I want to, switch it. So exchange horizontal category and in the vertical category and in the horizontal are the indicators. And now the change, I want to display it by a line. And for this line, I want to move it. I want to move it to the top axis. So price change set to the upper axis. So this is the final effect. And the rest of the work, is just the style. For example, the connection to curve and some other settings. So style adjustment, I think we have enough explanation before. So this is the tariff analysis. Okay, so now is that we have completed the the total all the tables and charts. Of course, you can continue to make a tariff detail table to let the user to check the tariff detail. But that is the same way, right? But because today our time is limited, so later if you'd like to learn, we will also after the seminar we will send you the email with the demo link. You can also explore by yourself. This is a substitute option. Okay, so here I'm going to go back to my dashboard, add all my components here, and the last part in our dashboard is to adjust its size, adjust its color, adjust its style, right? To make it beautiful. That is the aim in this dashboard. So for example, for this gross profit, but in the dashboard level, the style adjusting actually is actually a very careful work. So no other way. You have just to adjust it one step by step, right? No other way. So here, I want to make this four together. This is the title. I don't want to show the title here to display the title. And I want to combine this four. So here will be combine. I will combine here. Combine this four to make it a group. Okay, it's here. So this is a group now. And then and then the trend analysis, right? I want to make it here. But before we just dive into the style adjustment directly, one thing that we should consider is what is the size of this dashboard. Now, by default, you can check here adaptation. By default, our size is based during this based on my computer. So now maybe I want to give it a fixed size, this size, universal desktop browser. So you can see the size of this dashboard has already changed. And now I can change it like this to make it where it should be. And the Pareto analysis, maybe here. And then this is too short. I want to make it longer. And maybe here. Okay, this is Pareto analysis. Cost trend. Okay. So this is the ultimate, layout that we decide. But in the dashboard, we may also want the user have some interaction with this dashboard. So I want to add a filter. Like I said earlier, the tariff should be input by the user, right? So we should give the user a place to input that. So now we will use our filter to input or to select or to input or select. That is all okay. For example, select. Okay, drag it here. I'm going to give it some predefined values like this one. Okay, these three values. And then I will bind it to my parameter that I defined earlier. And then also I want to change the name. This is the select tariff. And also I want to the user be able to choose the product category. So filter and then text drop down. I'm going to bind this product category. So the values will all come from the product category and the name will be select category. And now by default, it's multiple select. You can also change it here. Okay. And lastly, our dashboard need a title, right? So I'm going to give it a title. In the other text component, I'm going to give it a title. This is a gross profit analysis. And you can also give it some size, maybe 40, and some font. Okay. Okay, so let me drag it here. So this is all the components we have here, including the tables and charts and these filters. This is the filters and this title. And then lastly, we will define is the color because like I said earlier, we leave the color for here because I want the dashboard to have a universal style, right? So how to adjust the dashboard style here? Using this dashboard style button, we have some, preset style for you. But if you don't like I'm doing here, I'm going to just use the white one. But besides, on bottom of this one, I'm going also to customize a little bit. So the customization for this dashboard will be like this. I have explained it in the PowerPoint because there will be some color code that we will use. For example, for the dashboard, I will use the background, the color is this one. And the gap, I want to use the 60. That will mean, you see, there will be more gap between the components. And for the component, I want to change the title here, the title. Change it to this font size and bold. So component, title font, customize. That is the 18 and bold. So 18 and bold. And then the chart. The chart, we will determine its, the color, right? So the color we'll use is these three. So I'm going to just copy paste it. This is the first one. You see the change. And this is the second one. You can also see the change. And this is the last one. Okay, and the rest one I can just ignore it because actually in our chart there will be up to three colors, right? So this is our chart. And table. If you have table, you can also use this one. But since our dashboard don't have the table now, I will just ignore it. But we have the filter here. These are two filters. They also have the title, right? The title and the background color. So I will adjust the filter title font to the bold. And then I was also want to give it a theme color to make it compatible with our whole dashboard. So you can see this is a change. And also image component, that is what you can do when you have image in your dashboard. So that is the color adjustment in our dashboard. But here, I can see that it also some not that beautiful, right? Because in my title part, maybe I wanted to display like this. And this is my filter. This is my filter. This is my filter. But I want my filter to be maybe like this, right? So maybe I need a space holder in the upper. So here I'm going to use the title. Here I'm going to use the title to, to create a fake one to just make it to become a space holder. So the filter will be like this, bottom. Okay, so this is the ultimate final dashboard, and the user can use these filters, to change the overall dashboard data. And later, don't forget to, save and update your work because in FanBI, you have achieved this dashboard in your FanBI, right? And if you want to share it to others, remember to save it and update it. And then, I'm going to preview. So this will be the dashboard that the user will see. But we see here, there will be a text, right? So I'm going to make it the, background color transparent to make it just disappear. So this might be the effect that we want. Also for the title, you can also change the background, maybe to change it here. And if you preview, it's like this. Okay, so that's all the dashboard, all the steps that we introduced today. And, we hope that through today's explanation, You can know that how the FineBI can achieve a dashboard like this. I believe that after listening to my explanation, you can find it's very easy, just to drag your field and drop, right? So the difficult part might be the data transforming part and the indicator creating part, but that kind of function will also support it in the FineBI. And you can, use lots of functions to create your indicators and ultimately visualize your data like this. And in the dashboard level, you can also do some, beautification work to the dashboard, to the overall dashboard to make every chart consistent with each other.